Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is set for one episode. Your host from Columbus, Ohio, is Michael Kirk. Welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast. Hello and welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast, your digital audio dirt sheet for all things Supershow. Let's kick this off with news from Super Lucha Weekend happening December 12th through December 14th at Rip and Ship Arena in Long Island, New York. I'll start with featured matches. The LFF Triad champion Johnny Eldorado will be in the building. We should expect him to have a championship match for that championship at Rip and Ship Arena. No news yet on his challengers, but that should be on the card. We are also going to have an LFF Underworld Championship match at Rip and Ship Arena because the new LFF Underworld Champion, the SRG Boss, will be at Rip and Ship Arena. We do have his opponent. The challenger for the Underworld Championship is going to be Colby Cram, the Chosen One. Colby Cram will be using Chris Bay, and he will take on the champion who is champion with Sergeant Yoga. There's also going to be a featured match at Rip and Ship Arena Super Lucha Weekend. It's going to be the Flame Fighter versus Le Penguin. It'll be a trios match, and the winner will become a future contender for the LFF Trios Championship. That's all I have about featured matches, but speaking of Le Penguin, the newest Super Lucha competitor, El Penguino. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure that I am. But the new version of Le Penguin, El Penguino, will be releasing at Rip and Ship Arena Super Lucha Weekend. Going from memory, the full competitor, the competitor card, and the 3 finishes have been posted on the SRG Universe Facebook page. If you want to check that out, see what that does. While I'm talking about Super Lucha releases, there were 2 that I missed from PAX Unplugged. Thank you to the Chrononaut for reminding me of this. 2 competitors that I've only seen at PAX Unplugged on the video they put out from day 1 of PAX Unplugged, but not yet on the website. Sister Sledgehammer and Baby Chaos. Those Super Lucha competitors released at PAX Unplugged. They are eligible to be used during Super Lucha Weekend. I don't know if or when they will hit the website to be made available for people to buy, but those competitors are out there, and they could show up at Super Lucha Weekend. Speaking of products, and I'm not sure if this will still be going on when this show is published, but there's currently a 30% off site-wide Black Friday sale on SupershowTheGame.com. Now, this does not include new items. It also looks like certain created content items are not available. For example, I went to the Create Your Own section on SupershowTheGame.com. I put alternate art competitor face card in the shopping cart. I put the 2026 Create an Alt Art prize card in the shopping cart. Went to checkout. Hit the button. There's a button they've added for 30% off. I hit that button. It applied it to the Alt Art competitor face card. It didn't apply it to the Create an Alt Art prize card. So be aware if you want to create content, some of the created content is covered by the discount, some is not. We did have 4 new created content things hit the website. Let me go through them briefly. They're in the Create Your Own section. They're also in the New Item section. The first I just talked about, 2026 Create an Alt Art prize card. $85 to do this. You get to choose the month you're creating. There's a drop-down menu that has all 12 months of 2026 in there. Going through the various months, it looks like there are between, for most months, 3 to 5 slots still available to be purchased. Only one remaining for January. I imagine you'll need to send in your created content forms for this by the end of the year, so by December 31st, if you decide to create this or any other created content. That's the first new create content item. Second one, 4th of July, create a competitor or alternate art promo card. $875 to create the competitor, $90 to create the promo card. They must be a Stars and Stripes America-themed competitor. The competitors and cards created for this will be released as part of the Supershow Independence Day 2026 bundle. Third, a new created content listing. May the 4th be with you. Create a Saber of Light weapon. These are cards in a new weapon series. Basically, create cards where wrestlers are using lightsabers as a weapon. So new weapons line, but it's lightsabers. But they're calling it Saber of Light to avoid trademark copyright issues. These will be releasing as part of a May the 4th bundle release when they come out. $90 if you want to create one of the cards in this line. And then the final new created content listing, President's Day, create a competitor or alternate art promo card. Same pricing as the 4th of July, $90 for the individual promos, $875 for the full competitor set. These must be presidential themed. They will be released as part of the President's Day 2026 bundle. I assume those lines will be available on the website until they sell out, far beyond the Black Friday, Thanksgiving Day weekend sale that's going on right now. One last thing I'll bring up about product. Right now, the Super Lucha box sets, the 4-player box set and the solo mode box set, right now those box sets can be purchased on supershowthegame.com. SRG Universe at some point will make that product and other product from that Kickstarter campaign available on GameFound. GameFound.com is like a second chance crowdfunding campaign website where if there was a campaign that you missed, you can essentially buy in for a second time on GameFound. That's kind of the flavor of it. No details on when that's happening, on what things will cost, but I know that's something they've been looking at for a long time, and SRG Universe is going to pull the trigger and do that at some point. Let's talk about some tournament news. I'll start with Harry's Tornado Holiday Extravaganza. This is a Tornado Tag Team tournament. The first round of the tournament has launched. Players have until December 7th to complete their matches. They are able to create a brand new deck list based on their opponent for each round. I have the pairings for the first round of the tournament. Let me go through those briefly right now. First matchup, Foxworthy versus the GOAT Brock Smith. Second, Prime Time versus the Chosen One Colby Cran. Third, the Italian Bombata versus everyone's enemy Joel Williams. Fourth, the New York Phenom versus Brian, wait for it, Schmidt. Fifth, Zach Ashley versus HR. Sixth, the Nightmare King versus the Memes Dealer. Seventh, Bjorn the Norseman versus Ricky Riot. Eighth, Rowdy Ron versus Mike Benton. Ninth, Pat the Thinker versus the prize fighter Simon Dabner. 10th, Jokerfish versus the Foreman. 11th, Robert the Brain Dunn versus the Grim Librarian. 12th, Sam Stanton versus Candyman Dan. 13th, TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen versus Yasmin. 14th, the Flame Fighter versus the Cheetah. 15th, Nick Nemesis versus the Starbreaker Trey Cantrell. And the 16th match in the opening round, Possum Kang versus Alexander Slamilton. Two of the players in the first round were standby players who ended up getting in. Those are Sam Stanton, who will be using the Betrayal in this tournament, and Rowdy Ron, who will be using Ninja Firebirds in this tournament. Those are the new additions to the lineup. Again, they have until December 7th to complete their matches. It is single elimination, and then they will find out the next pairings. The other tournament that I have news about is a tag team tournament being put on by the current general manager of that division, the SRG boss. He's calling it the Duet Dream Tournament. It's going to be a single elimination 16-team tournament. The World and Underworld division competitors are booked. All other singles competitors will be legal, subject to 2020 vision. There will be no T50 rules in effect. So all T50 elements that are normally restricted or banned, all of those are legal throughout the tournament. All of the anti-tag cards, as they call them, all of the finishes, competitors that are normally restricted or banned outright, they're all legal for this. There's also going to be an interesting rule involving the crowd meter. Normally matches all start out at crowd meter 0, and then as players break out of finishes, the crowd meter increases. There are cards that increase the crowd meter too, but essentially that's how it works. In this particular tournament, matches are going to start based on the highest crowd meter that each match in the previous round completed at. So, for example, 16-team tournament. In the opening round, every match is going to start at crowd meter 0. Let's say that the two winning teams go on to the next round, they face each other. Winning team number 1 won the match at crowd meter 1 in the first round. Winning team number 2 won their match at crowd meter 3 in the previous round. The match will start at crowd meter 3, meaning that the next round match, whoever wins between winning team 1 and 2, their next match will start no earlier in the crowd meter than crowd meter 3. It could be higher if they don't win at crowd meter 3, if the match continues to go higher. We'll have to see. But it's an interesting format to essentially carry the crowd meters forward. Players will have one deck list through the entire tournament. So will we see a lot of people using cards that have effects that don't start until crowd meter 1 or crowd meter 2? Maybe, because as you go deeper in the tournament, it is very, very likely those effects will be active in those later matches. Those cards will be live as you advance in the tournament. I could also see competitors like Eddie Fury or the new Hallow King being very strong in this tournament. We will have to see what competitors are picked, but this is going to affect a lot of how these teams are going to be built for this tournament. From what I understand, all of the matches in the tournament have to be completed by the end of the year. The prizes for winning this tournament will be creating cards for tag team play. That's what I understand. This isn't for shots at the LFF Tag Team Championship. It's to be able to make cards for Supershow the game. 9 of the tag teams have been chosen so far. 7 slots remain. So if you want to get into the tournament, you might want to reach out to the SRG boss. Let him know you want your tag team in. Of the 9 we know about, 8 have been split up into 2 brackets. The best way I can describe this is each bracket is going to result in one of the final 4 teams. Those brackets were paired up randomly on the last episode of Talk to the Universe. In the first bracket, after the random pairing, we're going to have the Dude and the Lethal Endorser as the first team, taking on the second team in the bracket, the LFF's Most Dangerous Alliance. The third team in the bracket, Zach Ashley and Simple Chuck will take on the fourth team, TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen and Yasmin. That's the first bracket we know about. In the second bracket we know about, best team ever. The first team in the bracket will take on the second team, double the fun. In the other match of the second bracket, third team in that bracket, King Trell, will take on the fourth and final team in the bracket, Ironic. Those are the matchups we know about right now for the upcoming Duet Dream Tournament. CCC News. We have seen the first 4 sketches for competitors in the 2025 Create a Competitor competition. Those sketches are for the Beekeeper, the Puppet Master, El Gordo Americano, and Sundown Moon. Will that be the first round matchup? I don't know. We could see the first match in the first round announced and potentially happen in the first couple of weeks in December. We'll have to see. Nothing's been set in stone yet. It's also a weird time in December because you have Super Lucha Weekend, then you have Christmas week and New Year's week. Do you want to start, stop, have delays, kind of break up the momentum of the first round, or do you want the matches to start happening one after the other? I don't know. We could see the first match happen in December. We might not have anything happen until January. Watch the SRG Supershow discussion group on Facebook. Watch Talk of the Universe on the SRG Universe Twitch channel. Wednesdays also on their YouTube channel. That's where you're going to see news about what's going on with the 2025 CCC. As always, I encourage people to support the Long Island legend, JAC, in the CCC. I know, as his steward, he has made his first post. Last I saw, that post was stuck in moderation. So we'll have to wait and see when that post gets approved for the discussion group. But it has been made. Dojo news. I don't talk much about the dojo. It's Tuesday nights on the SRG Universe Twitch channel. Players will play against players representing the company. If a player beats the player representing SRG Universe, he wins a prize that he chose before the match. A player of the winner's choosing also receives a copy of that prize. If he loses, the prize goes on sale on supershowthegame.com at a discount. That's traditionally how the dojo works. They're going to be changing up the rules a little bit. When a player has 3 dojo wins, I'm assuming in a row, that player will earn an additional prize. This will include the player playing for the house. Normally the player playing for the house eligible for 0 prizing. This will actually include them. This type of prize could be a prize card. It could be just one of the regular cards that's on sale on supershowthegame.com. That change is coming to dojo. We will also potentially see dojo wins and losses counted toward player ranking and Project Spider ranking. I have a little update regarding the LFF Tag Team Championship, specifically about future challengers. If you've listened to the SRG boss talk about the division, there are a lot of teams that had been promised shots at the LFF Tag Team Championship, a big line. He's made the following announcement. Everyone that won a tournament where the prize was a shot at the championship, those teams are still getting a shot. For players who are just given a shot because of successful play, they're not getting an out-and-out direct challenge. Instead, they're going to be placed into a tournament, and the team that wins that tournament gets the shot. So they're going from getting a shot to getting a shot and getting a shot. That's just what's going to happen. They are going to be very strict with this tournament. Teams will have to schedule their matches in advance. And if for some reason they cannot make their scheduled match time, effectively they forfeit. They lose out on getting a shot. Once the schedule is set in stone, that's it. You don't make your time. You don't get the match. One last thing before I talk about online tournaments and featured matches from this past week. We have an update regarding the Underworld Contender Tournament, where all of the players who helped to get competitors promoted to the Underworld Division, all of those players were in a tournament. The winner gets a future shot at the LFF Underworld Championship. That winner, Zach Ashley. Zach Ashley took the new version of Uncle Awesome, used that to win the tournament, and he will get a future shot with that competitor again at some point. I don't know when. Congratulations to Zach Ashley for winning the tournament. Now let's go through the online tournaments and featured matches from this past week. I'll start Monday with Monday Night Fights. Underworld Division event. World Division competitors booked. All other singles competitors legal, subject to 2020 vision. 8 players played in 3 bullet rounds, and then after that they cut to a top 4. No stipulations in the opening round of the top cut. The finals match and the third place match, both Ring of Fire matches. Your top 4 were in 4th place, playing as Vampire Hunter Foreman, the Foreman. In 3rd place, playing as the big bad kaiju O'Shea Edwards, the Judge Tim Rowley. In 2nd place, playing as Yamato Hama, Colby Cram, and the winner, playing as True American Guy, Gregory Patrick Scott himself, aka Dustin Garman. Congratulations to the True American Guy for winning Monday Night Fights. To my knowledge, there was nothing on Thursday. If there was something, I missed it. I apologize for that. But from what I understand, with the holiday, there was nothing on Thursday. Friday, we had a special streamed series of featured matches on the Big Picture Premium Twitch channel, Lariats and Leftovers. The opening match was for the Deep 6 Championship. When you're playing for this championship match as the champion and the challenger, you can have no more than 6 stop cards in your deck. The challenger, Swaggy D, challenging with Fast Hands Cam. The champion, John Polverino, champion with Brutus Bison. This was a relatively short match. It doesn't go past crowd meter 0. The winner, new champion, Swaggy D. Congratulations to Swaggy D for becoming the LFF Deep 6 champion. The second and final match of the night was one of the 5 Labors of Rambo Apocalypse matches. In each of these matches, the Flame Fighter has to take on an opponent chosen by Rambo Apocalypse. I believe that once the Flame Fighter completes all 5 of these matches, he gets a shot at Rambo Apocalypse. I could be wrong. So far, he's had 2 of the matches. The Flame Fighter has lost both of them. In the third match, we once again see the Flame Fighter as the Flame Fighter taking on new Deep 6 champion Swaggy D, playing as the original version of Swaggy D, the version that is no longer singles legal. The Flame Fighter playing an aggressive match, plays Handshake of Doom on the first turn, unfortunately does not win. The match ends up going to crowd meter 1. The winner at crowd meter 1, winning his first Labors of Rambo match, the Flame Fighter. Congratulations to the Flame Fighter, bringing his record to 1-2. There was supposed to be a second match. Unfortunately, Possum Kang, who will be the next opponent, could not make it, so that will be rescheduled. Those were the only 2 matches on Lariats and Leftovers. We also had on Friday a Super Lucha pop-up tournament. From what I understand, all of the cards you could use had to be Super Lucha cards. Super Lucha competitors, Super Lucha 1 through 30 cards, Super Lucha entrances if you had them. 6 players played in this pop-up tournament. They played 3 bullet rounds, and then they cut to a top 3. 1 player Colby Cram received a bye to the finals. The other two played for the last spot in the finals. Your top three were, in third place, playing as the Super Lucha version of El Super Hombre, Brian, wait for it, Schmidt. In second place, playing as the Super Lucha version of Aerial Lipstick with Scrappers, or Aerial Lipstick and Scrappers, I'm not sure exactly, but the Aerial Lipstick Super Lucha version. The player who received the bye, the chosen one, Colby Cram, and the winner of the Friday night Super Lucha pop-up event, playing as El Leon de Lahore, the SRG Boss. Congratulations to the SRG Boss for winning the Friday night pop-up event. Sunday, we have Sunday night fights. Only one match on the card, a match for the LFF Intergalactic Championship. The challenger, Fotista, playing as, I believe, the first version of Fotista. It's the version based on Drax from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Fotista, the challenger, the champion, Mr. Cheat, champion with the new version of Hallow King. Standard singles match, ends up going to Crowd Meter 2. The winner, still champion, Mr. Cheat. Congratulations to Mr. Cheat. Little bit of an unorthodox match. Mr. Cheat, kind of an unorthodox player. Fotista, from what I could tell, built his deck to try to counter the unstoppable backbreaker from the dead that Hallow King can run. That finish never ended up being played at all during the match. I don't know how much of Fotista's play ended up being a deterrent to playing backbreaker from the dead. We never saw the submission finish from Hallow King at all. We didn't see it played. I don't remember seeing it hit the discard pile. So who knows if that was even the submission finish. Again, congratulations to Mr. Cheat for a successful defense. As far as what is coming up for next week, I haven't seen anything about Monday night fights, Tuesday dojo, or Thursday night fights. I expect we'll have all three of those, of course. Thursday won't be a numbered Thursday night fights event. It will be a seasons beating event from now until the end of the year. We should have Expanding the Universe Thursday. We should have Talk of the Universe Wednesday night. Talk of the Universe, Expanding the Universe, and Dojo all on the SRG Universe Twitch channel. Big Picture Premium will also have 2 shows on their Twitch channel. Wednesday night, there will be a new episode of Ignite. They're planning on having 2 matches on Ignite Wednesday. One of those is a stacked card challenge match. It'll be Rambo Apocalypse playing as Mrs. Apocalypse versus Simple Chuck playing as Beef Mode. The other match, they have not yet booked. We'll have to wait and see what that is. Candy Shop Talk will be on the Big Picture Premium Twitch channel Friday night. Looking forward, December 14th, card subject to change with all of these. There's going to be an LFF Trios Championship match. The challenger, Screaming Danshi, playing as the Collector Sean Loeb version of Team Valiant, will take on champion Jokerfish, champion with SRG Universe, with that trio. I believe that will be on Sunday Night Fights. On Ignite, December 17th, there will be a defense of the Tea Time title. Challenger The Dude will take on champion Eddie Fury for the Tea Time title. One last thing concerning shows. I don't talk about Ron Talks Tabletop very often, but Ron Rumble has his own show on YouTube, Ron Talks Tabletop. On the most recent episode, which I haven't been able to check out yet, he interviewed the Grand Machine. If you'd like to check out that interview, from what I understand, it is on YouTube right now. With that being said, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Outlaw Mudcast. I would like to thank all of you for listening, and a good day.